I'm going to give you banks that you can literally take a new LLC to get the best business funding. So if your credit is where it's supposed to be, at least 700 plus, a couple personal credit cards in your name, listen, and we're going to give you all that sauce. The best thing about it, they all pull Experian. So take notes, make sure you like, comment, subscribe if you're new. Let's get straight into it. So one thing I always like to do is I always like prioritizing going through Experian first, like the ones that pull Experian first, because it's easy to call and remove the hard inquiries as you get them, as y'all may know. So let's get straight into it. Number one, National Bank, Chase Bank. So this is one of my favorites. Those of y'all that know that if you work with a bank relationship manager, you're more than likely going to get higher limits. So to be honest, just being transparent, I've seen them pull multiple different bureaus, but they can't pull Experian. So just keep that in mind for the sake of our video today. So you can get high limits as much as upwards of $50,000 per card, just to be honest. But it's not going to always be the case, but you increase the likelihood when you work with someone that has a bank relationship manager. You could apply for two cards at once, and one good thing about them is that they have a 0% interest. If you don't know what that means that it's 0% interest for that long period of time. In this case, it would be 12 months. So like, let's say you have a $50,000 card, you liquidate the entire 50,000. Your minimum payment is only going to be $500 for the entire, 0% interest period. So just keep that in mind. Like I said, you won't maximize your funding by working with a bank relationship manager. You need to get with people that have bank relationship managers like myself, or establish them for yourself, right? So that's going to help you maximize the amount of funding that you will get when we go to Chase Bank. So pretty much how it'll work with a bank relationship manager if you're working through them, because you can apply by yourself online, obviously. Like if you have good data points, you're gonna get the approvals that you need to get. But if you work with a bank relationship manager, you're gonna maximize what you get. It's about the relationships, right? So working with a bank relationship manager, you'll connect with them, and then they'll basically pass the application through DocuSign for the business credit cards. And for a business line of credit, for example, like let's say you out of state from who you're working with, they'll meet on Zoom with you or your client to go ahead and sign everything. So this is how I take my clients through the sequence. A lot of times my clients are located everywhere because a lot of our business is generated online. So people live in all different states. So whenever it's like a business line of credit, we'll all hop on the Zoom and get the verification and documentation that way. So a common thing that BRMs will ask for with the credit card applications is 3 months of statements on the personal credit card side, because of comparable credit. If you don't know what comparable credit means, it's basically the concept that they're going to look at how you've been able to manage your personal side or what you already have on your business side, and then they're going to base your limit that they approve you for based off of that. If you just have one card that's like $500 and it's like a store credit card, and you're maxing it out, you're not paying it down, you're gonna get a smaller limit approval than someone that has like a $25,000 card and they're using it, but they're also paying it down, right? So they're gonna look at your spending habits and how you're managing it. Because you gotta understand that when these banks are lending, it's risk, right? So they're putting like a gamble on the line by like betting on you, essentially. So things become easier when you have a bank relationship manager though. So keep that in mind when you're communicating with your clients. Like if you're a credit repair funding business owner that's watching this, just keep that in mind when you're talking to your clients. If they don't have any personal credit cards, like who is applying, whether it's you or your client, I would recommend that you get some. You can go look at my funding playlist for different videos where I go over like what you can get on the personal side. So Instagram is hating on me. Instagram is hating on me. Maybe my followers are hating on me because my students are just winning too much. I don't know what's going on, but someone is hating. So look, it said you can't send a message for 7 days. So this is just a screenshot from my DMs. So it said we violated community guidelines with some message. I guess we've just been changing too many lives in a positive manner. People don't like positive stuff. I know a lot of y'all. A lot of y'all are people that you on your journey of being successful and all of that. When you're on your journey of being successful, you changing lives, you helping people feed their families. people are gonna hate on you, right? So just keep doing what you're doing. Just stay prayed up. Just talk to God, like, just bless, just ask for blessings for these haters, weird spirit. You feel me? Nah, but so this person DM me, they say, shoot me the game, fam. What would you charge to duplicate your contracts for me and show me your bank to bank sequence? Because they know from watching my IG that we, help people get to the next level. They see my students getting people funded. We get people funded, etc. Right? So basically teaching me the ropes of funding. Let me know. I can reply a message, right? Because IG hating or whoever hating that's seen all my students getting all these racks, right? Put on my story too. I said that what I said. I said that my mentorship gives people racks and relaxation, right? When we talk about like R words, like a rich, double R is like a Rolls Royce and racks and relaxation. So whenever you think about racks and relaxation, you want to think about my mentorship program, right? If you're a credit repair business owner, if you're looking to start that credit repair business, right? So one important thing to note, I actually give my students in my mentorship a couple of Chase plugs that they can use. Like they have the email, they can connect with them and everything, and then just basically do everything that I just told you right now. And I also give them a document with specific questions that you should be asking a BRM that you want to work with. So you want to make sure that you're working with BRMs to maximize your business funding. Whether you have a credit repair funding business or if you're just a consumer, or not necessarily consumer because it's business credit, but if you're just like a business owner, whether it's in real estate or whatever industry you're in, you want to work with the bank relationship manager. This is why it's good to work with funding companies that'll help you get the bag, like us, because we have those relationships that you may not have, right? You can go apply online by yourself, but it's like, okay, what if you get a 10 to 15K limit, right? When you could have got like 40, 50, 60,000 in some cases, right? So just keep that in mind. So let's just say, for example, like my student's situation. Let's say you join our mentorship program, our full mentorship program, not the basic 2,500 one. I'm talking about the full 10K program. So let's say you join our mentorship program, you use the Chase plug that I give you. You go get your client anywhere from 50 to 150K in business funding. Those of y'all that know how funding goes, you can get a 10% kickback. That's $5,000 to $15,000 per client. Our 10K mentorship is going to go up very, very soon. You can make that investment back with one client, right? And look at all the results that my students are having. If you haven't been to my IG highlights, go ahead and look over there. If you go to the community post here on the YouTube channel too, y'all see it there too. You can't keep ignoring the value that we add in out here, right? Like you can hate all you want, but it's like the results is the results. The way we change in lives is undeniable, right? It's literally undeniable at this point. You see all these lives that are changing. When I first started a mentorship, somebody was like, why do I fake my testimonials? That person is nowhere to be found now because we just keep changing life after life after life. You know what I'm saying? So if you want to be part of this mission, link in the description. We'll have a link for you to go ahead and, see if you qualify to join the mentorship program. Like I said, it is a 10K investment. It's not cheap. You can go ahead and watch the main video on my channel. It'll break down the whole program, the God made marketing, and everything it comes with. 10K at the moment, like I've said, is gonna go up very, very soon. So I would get in as soon as possible, personally, if you want to save money. It's always gonna be worth it no matter what. But some of y'all are on that cheap mindset. So yeah. All right. So number two, PNC. So this is a national bank. So I actually got a BRM over here. I mean, I got Chase BRMs as y'all see too. So you have to have a business account first if you don't have one. So just keep that in mind when you're going to PNC. So PNC is actually a national bank. My BRM was telling me about the fact that they're like constantly expanding. I think he was saying like they're number 6 in the national banks and they're like looking to continue to expand. I think like because the main ones are like BOA, Chase, Wells Fargo, US Bank. I think it was Citibank, and then I think he said the PNC was like number 6 or something as far as like rising. So it was just interesting to me because before like I was actually having a BRM at PNC, I would always hear about PNC, but I didn't know that they were like big like that. Like I was low key sleeping on PNC. I ain't gonna lie to you. So if you have a BRM, you can have them. So this is what we do. So if you have a BRM, you can have them schedule a Zoom call and do the account opening and application with your client because you have to have a business account if you don't have one, right? So Keep that in mind if you want to do that for yourself or your client, if you don't want to go and branch, right? So they mainly pull Experian, but I've been notified that sometimes they can pull Equifax if your Experian is locked, but they pull Experian, FYI. And you got to realize too, like, because we have clients like everywhere, the situation I might see with the one client might be different for a different client. So we haven't had all clients in all 50 states to my knowledge. So every situation can be changing, but this is just based off of what I've experienced. So 2-year LLC, right? Let's say you have a 2-year LLC, the minimum limit approval for the card that you should be applying for. If you're going with the BRM, you can kind of just go off of what I'm saying here. But if you talk to them, they're going to be telling you the same thing I'm telling you here if you want to like cross check what I'm saying. So the minimum limit approval for the card that you would be going for, the minimum limit you're going to get is like 25,000 on that card. Like if you get approved, if you're a new LLC, meaning less than 2 years old, you might be approved for maybe 10 to 20K on the business credit card. So just keep in mind based off of your level, it's always better to have an LLC that's over 2 years old, but the video is also about people that they're new. So keep that in mind. I hope you're enjoying watching the best YouTube channel on the planet. This video is sponsored by the Cat Credit Monthly Mentorship. If you're looking to start or grow your credit repair business, this is the best option you can have if you're not ready for our full mentorship program. I understand maybe you don't have the 10K to invest in yourself with the full mentorship program. This is why the monthly mentorship is a great place to start. You'll get a community of like-minded individuals that also invested a nice premium monthly into themselves. So if you're looking to get in that environment to start or grow your credit repair business, hit your first 10K month, hit your first 20K month, leave your 9 to 5, that's scamming as 9 to 5, go ahead and click the link in the description. Enjoy the rest of the video. All right, the next bank, I'm going to be transparent. The next bank, TD Bank, it's a regional bank, right? Which means that it's located in certain regions. It's not a national bank. So you have national banks, you have regional banks, you have credit unions, right? And when I said I'm going to be transparent about TD Bank, I do have a bank relationship manager that I communicate with over here. But at the same time, I would not recommend this bank as like the best bank. I'm just being fully transparent, right? Because part of all these videos and value I'm giving y'all is to give y'all the truth, right? And the truth of the matter is, I wouldn't recommend it as the best bank, right? You can go into a branch, do what you need to do, applying and all that. But when it comes to like top tier and all that, Chase, PNC, all those banks, there's different banks that I would consider better. So I say this to say a lot of these videos, a lot of times they're just putting like, okay, go to this bank, go to this bank, go to this bank. I'm putting this bank to let you know it's not all that, no disrespect, right? Like I'm on good terms with the bank relationship manager that I know over here, but it is what it is. Oh, one thing I learned from my BRM. So they're good with trying to help startups, and they can help them get up to 25K in startup financing if you wanted to go that route. Minimum credit score. So typically, what I hear is 680, and minimum means minimum funding. I would be higher, but if for whatever reason you're just like, dang, I'm at a 670. I'm always hearing 680. You can't have a minimum credit score of 670 to work with a TD Bank. I've heard it's even low as like 650. That might have been one of my SBA people though. But I remember at TD Bank, he was telling me like minimum credit score can be 670 to be honest. So one thing too that I'm big on is like, can you get multiple products with one pool? So we do know that, Experian, you just call, remove the hard inquiry, and then just double back. But the credit card would be a separate hard pull versus one pull and multiple products, line of credit, loan, etc. And one thing that I've been vocal on is that these BRMs, like all these people that I have relationships with, they watch these YouTube videos, right? So I don't know who else is watching these YouTube videos. If you are someone that works at any of these institutions, maybe any of the institutions I haven't talked about, go ahead and reach out, book a call, connect with me as well, right? That's how I continue to network. That's how I bring my audience more information. And then that's how we continue to get the best funding for our clients that we're able to get. So if you're a BRM, I'm always looking to establish more relationships. So, go ahead and reach out. All right. So that was three of the banks, but I want to give y'all a bonus, right? So I'll be transparent. I don't have a BRM at this institution, but I'm just familiar with this institution. So Spectra Credit Union, you can get a business credit card over there as well. And it's basically like a version of Navy Federal because I know, Navy Federal is popular. Like, oh, go get Navy Federal, the 25,000 cash green rewards card and all that, right? But it's basically like Navy Federal, but without the military association need. Some of y'all may have heard me speak about Hughes Federal Credit Union on a separate video as well with the pledge loan. So similar to Navy Federal as well. So I just want y'all to know that it's not only Navy Federal that's a credit union that you can go to. You can go to all these different banks. And then they're aligned with Elon Financial Services. If you don't know what Elon Financial Services is, they're aligned with a lot of institutions. They basically do their underwriting. So the thing about Elon, I don't know however you pronounce it, but ELAN. Y'all have probably seen something like that. So basically they govern a lot of banks when it comes to underwriting. The thing about Elon Financial Services is that you don't it's like basically like a automated AI system in a sense. I guess that would be the best way for me to explain it. So you don't necessarily have to have a relationship before you apply because I always say build a relationship with the banks, which I still encourage. But with the Elon financial ones, where Elon is their underwriter, because it's like a computer system, you don't have to have a BRM, right? You don't have to work with a BRM necessarily. But in my opinion, just based off of experience, working with BRMs is the best way to go about it. So work on those relationships. So yeah, this one Spectra is like Navy Federal. They will pull Experian. I've heard that they've pulled TransUnion, I believe, but they pull Experian. So keep that in mind. You can just join the American Consumer Council. You don't gotta have military ties or anything like that, right? So just wanted to over deliver real quick. They in the DMV area. So just keep that in mind. Those of y'all that know, if you're not located in that area or do business over there, foreign entity, do what you need to do with that information. So just some extra notes before we close out the video. So when it comes to a line of credit, I need y'all to just remember to be careful because like, let's say you get one from Chase for your client, you're not going to be able to go ahead and get a line of credit again for the same LLC from like Citizens Bank or wherever you go to get your line of credit, right? Because if you don't know, you got to look at it like with the line of credit, they basically have a clause where like if you default, they reap the benefits of that. So if you have a line of credit with one institution and then let's say somehow the next bank is like, okay, you can get a line of credit again with the same LLC. The second bank wouldn't, they would have secondary, they would have like crumbs basically, like secondary, um, how do I say this? They would basically have like secondary benefits. So it's not, they won't have benefits. So if you're going to get a line of credit, just remember that if you're going to get a line of credit and you want it with like a second bank or something, you're going to have to go get a new LLC or you're going to have to close out the line of credit that you have with the current bank. Because remember, everything is risk. These banks are risking by loaning to you, right? So keep that in mind. So people hire us, our funding company, and they pay us our fee because we work through BRMs to maximize the funding. Because if your data points are good, we're going to be able to help you maximize your funding. It's not that we're just doing this super miracle where you have a 400 credit score and you're getting all these approvals. It doesn't work like that, right? So just keep in mind, it's just like having that extra leverage of what's already good. We can't take someone that's a level 4 all the way to a 10. It's more so about taking someone that's like a level 8 to a level 10, right? And then one thing I would say is always learn, right? So I find new banks just by going to bankbranchlocator.com. Anytime I'm doing research about a client that lives in a new state or, similar state that we've already funded in the past, and I just do my research there and study. That's how I've been able to discover a lot of new banks that I know about that I haven't even currently talked about, right? So just keep that in mind. So your action items are to go and apply for the cards I've mentioned, the business credit cards I've mentioned, or just click the link in the description. book a call so that we can actually help you maximize your funding. You might be a busy business owner. Maybe you don't know the correct sequence. Maybe you don't know how to go about funding. Maybe you don't have those bank relationship managers, right, to help you maximize the funding. So why not invest in yourself? Just pay the 10% fee to a business that already can help you maximize that, right? People that got the relationships. If you want to purchase relationships, essentially, right? Like the Chase Bank relationships. Like I said, our mentorship program, that's one of many benefits in it. Our credit repair slash funding mentorship program. So if you want to get tapped into that, that'll be in the description as well. So link in the description will be to if you want to work with us to get your funding. Have at least a 700 plus credit score. Have a couple personal credit cards in your name that's at least $2,500 limit, and at least I would say at least 6 to 8 months old, opened, and then utilization rate got to be under 30%, but really should be single digits, so less than 10%. So if you fit all those criteria, go ahead and book the call. If you don't fit the criteria, if you have negative items, I don't know why there be some stupid people that just be booking calls that don't even fit the criteria. Don't be that stupid person that's booking a call and you got 80 negative accounts, right? Go listen to our DIY stuff, fix your credit first, and then come to us for the funding. Or go book a credit repair consultation. You don't deserve funding if you got negative items on your credit. So with that being said, y'all have a blessed one.